Jesus Christ is one of the most well-known figures in history, with millions of people around the world believing in his divinity and teachings. According to the New Testament, Jesus performed a number of miracles during his time on earth, demonstrating his divine power and love for humanity. Here are the top 5 miracles of Jesus Christ. Turning water into wine. The miracle of turning water into wine is one of Jesus' most famous miracles, recorded in the Gospel of John. At a wedding in Cana, Jesus was asked to help when the wine ran out. He instructed the servants to fill 6 stone jars with water and then miraculously turned the water into wine. This miracle showed Jesus' power over nature and his ability to provide for the needs of people. Healing the blind. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus is recorded as healing the blind. In one instance, he healed a blind man in Bethsaida by spitting on his eyes and then placing his hands on him. In another instance, he healed a blind man in Jerusalem by putting mud on his eyes and telling him to wash it off in a pool. These miracles demonstrated Jesus' ability to heal physical afflictions and bring light to those who were in darkness. Feeding the 5,000. One of the most well-known miracles of Jesus is the feeding of the 5,000, recorded in all 4 Gospels. Jesus and his disciples were in a remote area when a large crowd gathered to hear him speak. Jesus instructed his disciples to gather what food they could find, and miraculously, he multiplied the 5 loaves and 2 fish they had to feed the entire crowd. This miracle demonstrated Jesus' compassion and his ability to provide for the needs of the people. Walking on water. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is recorded as walking on water during a storm while his disciples were in a boat. The disciples were afraid, thinking they were seeing a ghost, but Jesus assured them it was him. Peter then asked to walk on the water too, and Jesus invited him to come. Peter walked on the water for a short time before becoming afraid and sinking, but Jesus reached out and saved him. This miracle demonstrated Jesus' power over nature and his ability to calm the fears of his followers. Raising Lazarus from the dead. In the Gospel of John, Jesus is recorded as raising Lazarus from the dead. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days when Jesus arrived in Bethany, and his sisters, Martha and Mary, were grieving. Jesus asked them to show him where Lazarus was buried, and then he prayed and commanded Lazarus to come out of the tomb. Lazarus came out, still wrapped in his burial cloths, and Jesus instructed the people to unbind him. This miracle demonstrated Jesus' power over death and his ability to bring new life. In conclusion, these miracles of Jesus Christ serve as evidence of his divine power and love for humanity. They have inspired believers for centuries and continue to be a source of wonder and amazement today.